So we go after Chinese companies. The Chinese go after our companies like Qualcomm, Cisco, Apple, and Boeing. Don't think it can happen. Fears right now that maybe it already is happening. Dean Cheng joins us right now, the Heritage Foundation Senior Research Fellow. Dean, obviously we live in a world where it's tit for tat. I get that. But how damaging could this be if the Chinese then start warning these companies like Qualcomm, Cisco, you know what? We might just rein things in.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be the first time the Chinese have issued this kind of warning. When the U.S. has conducted arms sales to Taiwan, for example, the Chinese have warned companies such as Boeing, the old United Technologies, et cetera, that, hey, if you participate in this, we'll come after you. And obviously not just in terms of military sales, but back when it was all one company, Carrier air conditioners and Otis elevators. So the Chinese are very aware that they have a huge market, and they're willing to use that as leverage.
Are they already kind of letting it be known, though, that whatever we agreed to on the trade deal, that's off now? Maybe down the road, cooler heads prevail and all, but it just seems to me, Dean, that in this environment, they see, that is the Chinese, very little reason, incentive, impetus to honor that, especially when we are calling them liars and everything else on the early days of the virus and what they knew, maybe perfectly so and rationally and technically truthful. But in this environment, what would compel them to do business?
Well, first off, China continues to be a major exporter. So if they want to cut exports to the United States, still one of the world's largest, the largest market and the largest economy, that's not going to help them get their economy back off the ground. Second of all is that, particularly with regards to the Phase 1 trade deal, a lot of that was agricultural goods. Amidst all of coronavirus, we've forgotten that there are a number of other diseases running through China right now, such as African swine fever, which has really done a number on China's pork markets. They are going to have to import a lot of pork. They are still a net importer of other feed grains, soybeans, corn, wheat. So if you want to cut off your dealings with the United States, good luck on figuring out where you're going to find somebody to replace all those food imports as well.
I was talking to one negotiator, an American negotiator, some weeks ago, and he said something to the effect, China needs us more than we do China. And that's always been the sort of prevailing view in Washington. Is that view still accurate in your eyes?
I think that it's probably the least helpful approach is to say who is more dependent on whom. The reality is we are both very dependent on each other. Huawei is dependent on our microchips, but a lot of our electronics depend on their parts of the information communications technology supply chain. Everything from auto parts to agriculture to aircraft. I think that if we really tried to just break those links, there would be an enormous amount of economic dislocation on both sides. And I'm not sure anyone's going to come out of that a winner.
All right. Thank you very, very much, my friend. I appreciate it.